Hello everybody. So I did a video on the full moon and what to expect during that first full moon, which is today actually, August 3rd. And I realized that I had not put out my tarot of the month. I was so focused on the full moon energy. So let's just take a look at the tarot of the entire month of August. What we can expect versus just the full moon energy, because it's an intense full moon, August 3rd, right? So, and I'm going to use my new deck, which is called the Light Seers Tarot. I really like it, and it's still a new deck for me, so I'm discovering them as I'm reading them with you. And we're just going to pull 3 cards for the whole month, and then I'll pull a card for each sign. So, August 2020, what can we expect? So, our first card is the 9 of Cups, which is usually a pretty joyful, lovely card. You can see she's in this golden water. And she's under the sea. You know, if you can see at the top section of the card, it's like the surface of the water. And the bowls are all glowing. It's almost like there's a golden sun coming from the top to fill the water with light. And there's a treasure chest there too. And even her cups look like they're Tibetan bowls or something. So this lady is feeling just blissful with you know, the light, the spirit, the joy, and the abundance. So we're looking for that sense of our heart glowing like hers is. You see how the light is glowing from her heart chakra, her chest? So we're talking not about wealth and money, we're talking and material stuff. We're talking about what's giving you true joy, true exuberance. The next card is the 8 of Cups. And the 8 of Cups is preceding the 9, so it's interesting they're coming in this order. As you can see, she's walking away. There's a cup in the center, not in the center. There's a cup at the bottom here of the card. There could be a flower in there, or it almost looks like could be flames. And it's floating on the water, and there's little sparklies everywhere, fireflies maybe. And she's walking away with her breezy, easy breezy light kind of feeling. She's leaving something behind, and there's a glow on the horizon again, which sort of makes sense for the 9. That glow and that light. She's walking towards the light. So far this is a strong message of letting go of whatever is heavy on your soul and walking towards whatever gives you peace or joy. And the third card is the 5 of Wands. So here, usually you see people struggling. You see 5 people with 5 different activities or different will, different desires, going in different directions. So you see 2 people here who are like holding their arms up, and there's a flame at the top as if they're both trying to reach it. And you get a feeling they're either, the 2 of them could end up working together, or they could end up competing for it and feel like one person has to win. Another guy looks like he's off to the side, you know, distracted by something or checking his phone. And the others, one of them's on his back or fell, and he's struggling to hang on, and the other one is way behind, struggling to hang on. So this suggests, like, if you're in any kind of group scenario, and that could be your work, or that could be family, it could be a sense of community, there's going to be some dissent, there's going to be some conflicts and some disruptions and some competing going on. I think I'm going to continue with the cards for the month. All right. So our next card for August is the Four of Wands. And this is a beautiful card. Look at the tambourine and the tent. And there's two people dancing like at a festival. Almost looks like a carnival or a Burning Man or something. The Four of Wands is usually a lovely card, you know, of feeling like you've tapped into your passion and your desires in a way that creates a nice flow or something stable or something, you know, like building a tent. Takes some effort and some structure, and then you get this festive, fun place, you know, or dancing. It also takes a bit of form, a bit of routine or structure or rhythm, something that, because it's a four, which is stability, and but it's dancing at the same time. So it's like, it's a beautiful image of celebration. And our next card is the Page of Pentacles. So this is like a young female or male. It's a younger person, and the pentacles are the earth element, and you can see their connection with the earth. They look like they're sort of wearing leather pants, leather shoes. There's not a lot of attention drawn to the face or the head, so it's focused on the lower body and the connection of the feet to the earth, the trees. You know, it's like the person is sort of larger than life, dancing in a circle amongst the trees and carrying, you know, a mandala and sort of standing in amidst a mandala. So this is somebody who's got like a very simple life, or desire for a simple life. They're very grounded, they're practical, and they're humble and unassuming. But they're trying to build something as well. You know, they're going to be planning projects. They're going to be trying to implement something that means something, and also maybe from a grassroots kind of perspective, not like a big business kind of perspective. So this might be a young entrepreneur, somebody who's making things and selling them herself or himself. This can be somebody who's just applying a skill that they have and being useful and being paid for it. But nothing extravagant here. It's all very sort of independent, self-sustaining, and simple. And our next card is the Hierophant. And this is an unusual Hierophant because usually it shows an older man or a pope, you know, an old wise one as the Hierophant. But this is a younger guy, looks sort of like a young guru or yoga teacher or a life coach or something. And he's definitely displaying a joyfulness about him. He's sitting very fluid, he's comfortable, his body is flexible, you know, he's fit, and he's got a huge laugh and smile. And the stairway up to, you know, the divine is representing his connection to the divine. And you see all of the red and pink. So very heart-centered colors again. So, you know, in this case, his connection to the divine, or what he's bringing to us, is much more joyful than sort of serious and studious and formal. So overall, these cards, I have to say there's something a little bit contradictory in them. There's this definite pull towards things that are more centered and like solitary, because we have the Page, the Hierophant, and the 8, which are all very content to be by themselves. And they've all, you know, sort of made peace with their own choices, and they're okay to follow their own truth. And then we've got these very celebratory, expressive, joyful, dancing, movement kind of related cards. And then we've got our 5 of Wands conflict card. So, you know, overall, the conflict card it's just one amongst all the rest of it. I'm getting a feeling that for August there's going to be still this mix of people trying to push the envelope, whether that's with partying or vacations or going to the beach or whatever it is they're doing in the face of, you know, the pandemic. But there's also an awful lot of people going within and being content to spend time in nature or to walk their own path of truth, regardless of the group. You know, the only card here that's showing harmony between people is the 4, and that's based on parties and, you know, the tent and the dancing. Otherwise, all these cards, the people are alone or they're in conflict. So it might be a sign that you're going to spend more time, a little more time to yourself, a little more time in solitude, or being willing to stand for yourself, take care of yourself, be alone if you have to. And also some opportunities for the 9 and the 4 of Wands to show, the 9 of Cups and 4 of Wands, some opportunities for some creativity and for some celebration. I mean, even if those are offered in new ways than being at a concert with people or a bar, there's expansion of your creative self, and there's a lot of joy in these cards. But there is a sense of perhaps needing to walk away and to just guard against anything where there's too many people trying to compete for something all at once, just because of the 5. All right, so I'm going to pick a card for each sign for your month for August, for the entire month, not just the full moon. I already picked your full moon card on my other video, so I hope you like that reading. And these are new cards, so I need to shuffle them extra because they're not well mixed. All right, so Aries. For August, Aries, your message is the Star. So for you, it's time for you to think about your aspirations and your dreams. And if you're already somebody who's a dreamer and you've got all kinds of things, I'm going to do this and that, then you need to just test them for test how realistic they are, because the Star sometimes gets carried away with things being perfect and idealistic and sort of like in the movies, or they can just sort of be a little bit ungrounded, you know, with their head always in the stars. And if your head is not in the stars and you're feeling down and you're not sure what the hell to do with your life, then you have to look up to the stars again for inspiration. The card, when it's working well, means a divine inspiration, but it's also not self-delusional. It's an aspiration that you could actually reach, and it should inspire you to reach it. It's not impossible. That's a nice message. All right, Taurus, for the month of August, your card is the King of Wands. This guy is a lion tamer. He doesn't look afraid at all that there's a lion behind him. He's probably friends with the lion. So making peace with your strength and with your pride. The lion is the king of the jungle. You know, this guy, he's not dressed like a king, obviously, but his energy feels like a king. So there's something in here about, you know, maybe you don't like pretentious people, or you don't like to have to dress up for stuff, or you don't believe in any of, you know, putting on the corporate suit in order to, you're looking for who's the real person, who's got the right energy for the job. This guy has a very tall wand. It's lit on fire. Yeah, it's a crown of fire on the top of his wand. So he's chosen, or he's been self-chosen. And the lion seems to be approving or on his side. So it's a good time for you to go forward with any of your plans. It looks very strong, very confident month for you. All right, Gemini. Sorry, it's suddenly getting extremely hot here where I'm filming, so you can see my energy's just gone a bit tired. That's why. Oh, interesting. So Gemini, your card is the Six of Swords. So she's on a boat, and those are crows. Pretty sure. Yeah. Wow. These crows are actually attached to strings pulling the boat through. Now the crow is an extremely powerful message, because whenever the crow shows up in your life, literally, within the next year or so, you will go through a huge transformation in your life. Like, it won't look the same as it did a year ago. And there's actually 6 crows. So you're definitely in touch with your spiritual side. You might be getting more dreams, or more, you might feel your intuition is really strong, or you might be feeling spirits around you. You might be aware that, you know, unfortunately, I've got to say this, like, sometimes the crows also indicate an actual death. For any of you who are suffering with your health, or know people who have passed or suffering, this might be really weighing on your soul right now. The Six of Swords, though, is always like a good card as far as like moving on towards new land. I mean, the card is moving forward on a journey, and they've left their motherland and they're coming to the new world, and they're going to start over. And so you might feel the need to start over in a big way in your life, Gemini. But as I mentioned, the crow usually means that you've got time, but it's coming within the year. All right, Cancer. There we go. Well, Cancer, here's our 9 of Cups. So I just described the 9 of Cups. So things will be quite nice for you this August. You might see some surprises. You might feel happier than you realized. You might want to dye your hair blue like her. No, I'm just kidding. No, well, go ahead if you want to, but yeah, there's just, you see how she's just thrown her hands up in the air and the cups are all floating, and she completely trusts where everything's going to land. So this is a card not only of joy and light in your heart, but it's also a card of having the faith that everything and everybody will settle into the right place as they need to. So I see a lovely month if you focus on this aspect of faith, and don't let anything or anybody steal your joy this month. Okay, Leo. So for Leos, you've got the Ace of Cups. So there's some sort of new love, new appreciation, could be self-love, could be a feeling of well-being and contentment in your life or with people around you, could be an actual falling in love, deepening the love that you have with someone already, strong friendship bond, intimacy, and ultimately a healthy love of yourself. You can feel the peace in this card. There's a nice way she's holding this cup. It's not too tight, it's just enough. And the way that it's radiating everywhere around her is just beautiful. So anything that you can do to increase your sense of love for yourself and the world, do it, whatever it means to you. Now, Virgos. All right, so we've got swords again, 5 of swords. So you can see that the bird is sort of picking at his head, which is a very sort of Virgo image in a way, for nitpicking and overanalyzing, being too hard on yourself. But in this case, the guy looks like he's got a headache and he doesn't want to deal with something, and the crow is pecking at him like, no man, like, wake up, there's somebody behind you who's yelling for you. You see him in the background? Turn around and go get him. Turn around and listen. So Virgo, I have to say the 5 of swords in this case feels like you're not waking up to something you need to. You're not listening to something that you need to. You're missing a message. So I want you to try, if you're feeling overwhelmed and avoidant and you're like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. No, you're going to have to. You're going to have to sit down with yourself until you clearly get a message as to what you're supposed to do. And not ignore anybody's requests or asks for help. And the crow... These crows, you know, all flying around the head and literally touching his head means like there's a lot of conflicting thoughts, and there's a transformation in your thought process. Yeah. Okie dokie. Let's look at Libra now. Okay, well, we get one of the core cards we picked. So Libra, we talked about the Page of Pentacles. So the main message I'm feeling is this means you've just got to stay grounded right now. Stay centered, spend some time in nature. Spend time, if you want, any artistic pursuit or decorative, and anything that, like keeping it simple, not complicated, but your appreciation of beauty and art is what I'm getting at. So just simple things that might uplift your spirit, in terms of bringing in some colors, bringing in some plants, keeping yourself to yourself a bit. You know, like this big mandala is covering her whole chest and her heart. She's looking away from us, and she has a hoodie. So she's not ready to share how she feels or be vulnerable with us, but the mandala over the heart area suggests that she's got a big heart, but she's not ready to share it. And she's sort of standing in a tree pose. She's balanced on one leg. And so it really suggests get yourself balanced and centered. And anybody that pulls you off of that path, making you too anxious, overexcited, nervous, scared, whatever, angry, just let them go. This is about staying calm and centered. Scorpios. Okay, we've got this beautiful 2 of Pentacles, and I love it. It's like she's spinning these giant, well, one looks like a purse, actually. There's a snap or closure, and the other one has a pentacle in it, and looks like a balloon or something, but she's spinning these 2 orbs, and she's dressed up. Looks like she's at a festival as well. She looks pretty cool, actually. Again, she's very self-contained. She looks like a girl who's off dancing, doing her own thing, and doesn't care. She's fine to just be there. She doesn't have to meet anybody. She doesn't have to get attention or be seen. But because she doesn't care, she will draw attention. Look at all that pink and orange and red. So a lot of passion there. But the shirt is dark and the hair is long and sort of covering her. So again, we can see that she's sensual, but she's not showing us all her cards. And we can see that she's expressing herself and moving, and she's going to draw attention and fascination, but she's not necessarily going to let anybody in if she doesn't want to. So I'm hoping for you, Scorpio, that you have something that brings you that feeling. And if not, I would say go dance somewhere, you know, even if it's in your own living room, or take a walk with your and listen to music. Think of where you can tap into her vibe, where you're just completely contained and good with yourself and expressing yourself, and you don't need anybody else around. So that's a nice message for you, and it matches the overall reading for us all. You know, you won't be engaged in the partying and the conflict. You'll be with the going your own way, speaking your own truth, doing your own thing. All right, so Sagittarius. The Death card. But I love this Death card. Isn't that beautiful? Look at it. So there's a cloak, and it's red, it's not black. And there's all of these sort of different realms and colors. But inside the cloak, look at all the light. So this is definitely showing like going to another realm. That the true person inside the cloak is from another astral realm, or from many ages ago, or it sort of speaks of reincarnation, this card to me. So, but the Death card classically in your life is going to mean that there's a bit of a shock or surprise, and then something turns out to be a lot better than you thought. But expect a shock or a surprise. And but expect also that this galaxy, or this giant star is shining inside of you, and whatever comes next is going to be for the better. Capricorn. All right, Capricorn, you've got the Seven of Cups. So as you can see, Seven of Cups is always a card of like illusions. And there's too many options. There's sort of a snake as well here. There's a snake and there's some ladders. I don't know if snakes and ladders makes any metaphor for you. I didn't play that game since I'm a kid. But snakes and ladders is interesting, right? Because you'd sort of follow the game board, and you'd climb these ladders trying to get to the top, but all of a sudden you might hit a snake and you slip down to another level and have to climb back up again. Or vice versa, you hit one and you snake up and you jump levels. So it's interesting. You might find that that's going on up, you know, sudden opportunities, sudden slides. But the main thing with Seven of Cups is like just there's too many cups and there's too many options, and they're not sure which one is the best one. And you can see it in his face that he's deciding, and he can't quite tell which is the best course of action or the best one to pick. And because they're all turned upside down, it's almost like that shell game, you know. Find the ball underneath the cup, and it's like moving the cups around. Which one is going to have it? Whoops, I picked this one, there's nothing under it. Oh, I picked this one, there's something. And so you know, this means that you're probably going to be struggling with making decisions, and you have maybe too many options on your plate as well. And so you have to just test them and see which one is the best, versus staying stuck in the way you want it to be, and it's got to be that way, or stuck in not experimenting at all. So yeah, I just get a feeling of a lot of decisions for you this month. Alrighty, let's take a look at Aquarius. Oh, nice. Get the Seven of Pentacles. Usually this isn't an easy card, but I really like this one. Seven of Pentacles sometimes is somebody, you know, harvesting the fruits of his labor, and that's what this one is. In the Crawley or the Thoth deck, it's a card that says failure, and it's where the person needs to learn what's the value of what. But here you can see all of these spheres almost like planets or seeds. The root system is very entwined and complex, but it all comes together to give him this beautiful little plant, or maybe it's a little bonsai. And he's got his hand over it as if he's almost doing Reiki, and his eyes are closed in a meditative state, as if he's manifested this growth without really doing much as a gardener. He's just sort of used his channel of energy to grow and intertwine and make something come of it that he wants. So this is an incredible time, Aquarius, for you to be quite powerful with your intentions, you know, with your magic or with your manifesting. Like, you can set something in motion with your energy right now and grow something or bring things together that normally wouldn't. So that's wonderful. And finally, Pisces. Ah, very nice. Pisces, you get the Ten of Cups, this beautiful love card. Look at that. All the cups are in the air in a perfect order, perfect colors. There's a beautiful rainbow swirling around them, and they're sitting in it all together, all cozy, hugging each other, watching their kids. So for Pisces, I think you're going to have a more peaceful month. You might feel like you want to just cocoon with the people that are important to you. It's a month of like appreciation and of bonding and gratitude for your friends and your family, your partner, your kids. Lovely, lovely energy this month for you. All right, everybody. Well, you let me know how your month turned out. I'm going to be back again in a couple of weeks with the reading of the new moon energy. You might want to check your reading from the full moon video as well as this one, because I give readings for the signs in both of them. So if you combine the two messages, you're going to get a good sense of what your month is looking like. And until then, if you need a personal reading from me,